Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. New comic book day for the week of September 28th, and we're going to get started right now.
This episode brought to you by Paul's podcast, Campfire Ashes. You can get it wherever you can get your normal podcasty stuff and listen to it. It's good, and he'll talk about spooky stuff. You're welcome, Paul. Talk about the comics. Hey guys, it's Tim from the comic book store, Team Ashen, Capes and Scowls. Paul and Tim do a thing. I'm going to talk about these trades. Let's get into it. We got Human Target hardcover, Volume 1. You definitely know about this series because Paul has talked about it quite a bit on this channel. We've got Future State, Gotham, the next Joker. This is Volume 2. I find this series very interesting because it's the only Future State that kept going, and it is the one that has the manga style. The little bit I've read of it has been pretty cool. Blue and Gold, we reviewed that on here. This was a very fun series. I may check this out at some point and see how it ended up. This is tricky, so there are, let me find the other one, 2 Black Adam trades that are out that look very much like the same cover, because it's just like, slap the rock on it, hope for the best. These are both pretty interesting stories. This is a JSA story. This one's the really good one, though. It's got the issues from 52 and some of the fallout from that. One of the best Black Adam stories. We have Spawn Omega. This is issues 308 to 315, so this is the newer trade of the newer stuff. I guess they don't do volumes, they just give it titles and keep moving. And whatever, man, as long as you clearly label what it is. We got Berserker Volume 2. This is issues 5 through 8 of this. This is going to go up to 12, I think, so there'll be one more trade. DC vs. Vampires, Volume 1 in hardcover. Definitely a book you have seen on here quite a bit again. Paul loves it, and with good reason. Moon Knight, why this is a book I would have put on here a bunch. This is Volume 2 of Moon Knight. Definitely an interesting style for Moon Knight in this series, but I do love it, and the art is spectacular. Angel. Paul, you never really kept going with the Buffy stuff, did you?
Well,
hit or miss? Not much.
I mean, it was very well done. It's just, yeah, reasons.
Avengers. This is Volume 10. Wow, man. An Avengers book got up to Volume 10. That's exciting. That's very exciting. This has a bunch of issues, some of the free comic book day stuff, and the Avengers 1 million BC story, which is a weird story. We have Dead Man Tells Spooky Tales. This is Franco, and this is for kids. I think this looks awesome, and Franco's super good, so I think this should be really good. We got X-Men Volume 2. Yay. And we've got Strange. Finally, we got Strange. This has been a really cool book. Volume 1 of this, 1 through 5. This book's nice. That's it.
First up, we have DC Vampires, issue number 9. Yeah, this book just keeps getting better. They're starting to take their offensive to the vampires on 2 different fronts. Ollie is just mowing through people to get to where he needs to go. Meanwhile, John is taking Supergirl to Australia, where they think things are going to get better, or at least be able to mount some sort of offensive. And of course, bad things happen, because that's what this book is about. It's just bad things. So many people die in these books, and that's part of the fun. It's part of the fun of Elsewhere Tales is people just not being safe, and this book is no different. So definitely grab it.
All right, first up for me, we got Street Fighter Masters Chun-Li. I love the Street Fighter universe. Anytime I can go back to it is always a pleasant treat. This is a one and done, I assume. I guess they could go out a little farther with it, but it is basically just a story of Chun-Li and what she is doing now. I don't know what video game this actually falls into, but she has a bunch of mostly orphans that she's teaching karate to. She's kind of, reinvigorating her town and helping these kids out. And she gets into a fight at a water park, which is the start of this. And she quickly learns that people think Bison is back, and she has to deal with that. Pretty interesting story, pretty fun, low stakes. It's just a fun, cool story. The art's really good. And there's a little bit of action, a little bit of fun, of humor. It's just really an all-around good book. If you haven't checked out Street Fighter in a while, this is a good thing to grab and try.
Next up, we have Human Target, issue number 7. This book just keeps getting better. I love this series. I love the way this is narrated. This is just a faithful noir type story with a lot of revelations. I really do. This is a fire issue, as you can see. I really can't talk a lot about what's going on because there are some bombshells that are dropped into this book. Based on the last issue. And it's been a while since the last issue, so, like, they killed Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner's dead. And this is part of the fallout. This is him still trying to figure out who poisoned, or tried to poison Lex and ended up poisoning him. And we find out a lot in this book. And unfortunately, I really can't talk about it, but, like, oh man, there's some things there's some very big complications in this book, and it is just getting better. Tom King does an amazing job on these 12-issue maxi series, and you should definitely check this one. Also, Greg Smallwood's art is just spectacular. It's so good, and it fits the style of the storytelling and everything. Almost my pick of the week.
All right, next up, nearly my pick of the week, is Tim Drake Robin, issue number 1. This is a pretty fun story, and you benefit if you had read the DC Pride special on Tim Drake, which will tell you kind of where the story started. There is a new villain that is in the area. We still haven't met them, but this continues from there, where there was Edgar Allan Poe references and these weird animals that are kind of like made out of some sort of light. And he has to figure out how to defeat them, and it's not as simple as punch a thing in the face. So you get some detective-y work from Tim Drake, which is, he's always been the best detective out of all the Robins. He is my favorite Robin, too. But I enjoyed it. The art kind of works for this. It's a weird kind of art, but I like it because it makes all the characters kind of more interesting and more fun. Everybody looks a little different. Pretty cool story. So we'll see where this goes.
What is my pick of the week? It is Briar, issue number 1. This is a messed up story. The way this kind of starts out is almost kind of like I Hate Fairyland. Declaration, the first thing that you learn is the narrator is dead. The narrator of this story is dead, so we don't know right off the bat what is going to happen, because we know what happened before he died, but time has passed and the story has been lost. This is a story of Briar. Think Sleeping Beauty. A doted-on princess, never really wanting anything, pricks her finger on a loom, falls asleep. And that's where the story changes. Because they don't wake her up. They're just like, we're going to do horrible things to her and marry her. And marry her off to a prince who is perfectly happy with her just being asleep, which is creepy as hell. And the kingdom rises, and then the kingdom falls, and then 100 years later, she wakes up, and to the nightmare hellscape that is her land now, and her trying to acclimate herself to the world. And man, this is such a good book. The art is really, really interesting, because it's very fanciful at the beginning, and then it gets dark and turns into this very gritty world as she wakes up. Storytelling is awesome. We get to learn a lot about the world around her, even though she's only been in it for a short period of time, and how crazy it is, and her way of working through it and pushing through it. I loved everything about this book, so I can't wait to see the rest of it. Yeah, you should definitely grab it.
All right, time for my pick of the week, and it is from Aftershock. It is one big ol' one-shot magazine format. Hell is a squared circle.
Wow, you broke the format.
I broke the format.
You did.
I did?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You didn't do the bit of like, what's my pick of the week? I have no idea.
Oh, shit, you're right. Paul, what's my pick of the week?
Well, I know it now. You did it.
I'm tired, Paul. Just edit out an old one where I'm like wearing a different shirt or something. Yeah, I'm just like a little less gray, a little more grizzled. Yeah, it'd be good. Anyways, Hell is a Squared Circle. This is a very cool story from beginning to end. It is about a man who is a wrestler, so of course I love it. He is kind of mistreated in the ring by a promoter and another wrestler, so he gets very angry about it, and things go pretty poorly, to the point where he should probably leave the area. So you find him he's a drunk, he's a terrible, terrible person, even though on the inside, he doesn't want to be, but he kind of is what he is. And it is just kind of like how your demons kind of catch up with you, both physically and mentally, and him trying to repair his relationship with his daughter, which is going good in some ways and bad in others. But the art is what really sells this. If the art wasn't so creepy in a way, like everybody's human, but they look superhuman in this. And the colors also really help, because the colors make him seem like a monster almost. He's a lot of purples, a lot of darker shades, maybe because he's a heel and he's a bad guy wrestler. Really cool story. And I gotta tell you, I would like more things like this. I know this is a one and done, but maybe there's a universe of weird wrestling things we could get into. I'd be here for it. But I liked it. So if you're remotely into wrestling, you should love it. And if you just want a pretty grim, dark story, this is for you. All right, everybody, that is it. Thank you for tuning in again. We gave you a bunch of books this week. Hopefully, let us know in the comments below anything you pick up if you agree with us. I noticed some of you did that last week. You said, I didn't even know about this book. It was great. I like hearing stuff like that. Paul's doing Paul things. He's on Twitch. Paul's doing his normal Paul things. He's over there, Paul.
Campfire Ashes this week.
Campfire Ashes this week. He's Pauling around over there. Is it your story this week?
It is.
So, maybe next week, right?
Wow.
Dang, I got him again. I got you again.
So mean.
Yeah. No, listen to Paul. He writes stuff. It's a thing. No, it's good. Everybody, bye.